take us in our next session on crushing the imposter syndrome. So let me take this opportunity to just introduce her, and I trust Emma is going to share with me her profile. So I'll just be reading about Lydia, get to know who Lydia is, another powerful speaker all the way from Kenya. Yes, so Emma, are you ready? Okay, so Emma is ready. Let's know who Lydia is. Lydia Zziwa. So people are probably wondering, you said Kenya, but she's Zziwa. She's Lydia Zziwa. So she found love in Uganda. I tell you, in Uganda, there are beautiful things. The people from Nigeria, the people from Ghana, and from the rest of the world, I'm encouraging you, just in case you are still single and searching, come to the Pearl of Africa. Lydia came all the way from Kenya. She left all the good men in Kenya and came to pick one in Uganda. All right, let me continue. Lydia Zziwa is the director of the Love Foundation Kenya, a faith and community-based organization whose mission is to spread God's love through kind gestures to the elderly and vulnerable children. She has over 15 years experience working in project management and administration. She has a rich experience working with working as a communications liaison officer for USAID funded projects. Lydia has shown great service for her nation by equipping youth in becoming the best version of themselves in different learning institutions and programs across her country. Lydia is an alumni of the University of Kenya, where she graduated with a master's in community development. She has a bachelor's in sociology from Catholic University of Eastern Africa. She is called to equip, inspire, and encourage leaders, and is currently the East African coordinator to Beyond Success East Africa. This is a life-changing legacy program by Dr. John Maxwell, a world-renowned leadership expert. The program seeks to offer personal development and transformational leadership. Lydia is based in Nairobi, Kenya. She's married to Reverend Richard Zimbalist, and they are blessed with 3 children, Gavin, David, and Zani. Oh, Lydia, people in the comment section are already saying, we can't wait to drink from your cup. Wisdom. Lydia, you're warmly welcome to take us on. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Lydia, my namesake, for just that awesome introduction. Thank you, Pumla, for opening us up so well. I just love listening to you, what you brought about with, your story. You're so authentic, you're so real. And for me, when you're sharing that story, I think you've done part of my presentation on the imposter syndrome. I'll just be sharing my screen. Please enable me to share. Yeah, so when you talk about the imposter syndrome, it's, being in that place, by sharing your story, Pumla, being in that place where you disqualify yourself, you discredit yourself because of your gender, because of your race, because of your, your academic qualification. And in most cases, you find that you actually self-sabotage yourself when you're saying, I can't do this because I'm a woman. I can't be part of this group. Even sometimes you realize that if you're invited into a particular circle of friends and you're saying, that's not for me because, I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not beautiful enough because of the people who are in that place. So every time I'm asked to speak about the imposter syndrome, in most cases, you see if the reverse is true, when you're giving motivation about believing in yourself, in most cases, you see yourself, it's the cat who sees themselves as a lion. But when it's an imposter syndrome, you see the cat. Everyone sees a very big person on the outside, but inside yourself, you see yourself as that small pussy cat who cannot do much. So the imposter syndrome normally sets in on the reverse, where people see you as successful, they see you as, you're doing well, but inside yourself, you don't believe in yourself. So if I'll just bring in the definition, it's where, sorry, let me just minimize this. It's why you have these thoughts of feeling that you don't deserve it, not good enough, despite evidence of the contrary. You have those deep ingrained feelings of unworthiness. And this can manifest in both social and professional circles. You find people in home settings, in professional circles. You are an MD, you are a CEO, but deep down inside, you feel like a fraud. It's like you are not meant to be in that position. And the most interesting thing is that I've listened to many people. This experience actually manifests and comes up. It's actually manifests in our lives in different points of our lives. Even people who appear so competent, so high functioning, they struggle at some point with the imposter syndrome. Then again, it also reflects as self-doubt and self-sabotage. One of the researchers has defined the 4 P's of the imposter syndrome as people pleasing, perfectionism, paralysis, and procrastination. In other words, you find yourself either you flee, you fight, or you just freeze. You're in a position where you're supposed to take up responsibility, and you end up doing so much because you want to please people, because deep down inside you think that you just got there by luck. I'll be sharing my own story as I just go ahead with this, because the reality is that the imposter syndrome can set at any stage of your life. And I love what Dr. Valerie has brought in about the imposter, the types of the imposter syndrome. And one of them is a perfectionist. You end up overworking or either procrastinating to seek 100%. John Maxwell talks about the timing gap. You never feel like it's the best time to start. In case you want to start a housing project like Nopumla was sharing, you feel like, I have to achieve perfection. I have to get the funds. I have to, have everything in place before I start. And guess what? That never happens, and you end up, just delaying to start something because you are highly perfectionist. Then again, you have the do it all. You believe that you can't delegate, or you also cannot say no. You're in a place where you always think that you're the only one who can do it the way you want to. Sometimes, Shelley, if even like a mom, sometimes I would find myself like when I'm having a house help who's helping me at home, I end up even doing the same work she has done because I think she has not done it to my level of perfection. Or maybe I think I can do it all. And you end up being so tired and being so grumpy and miserable because you never allow anyone else to help you. And again, it can come out as an expert. This is very interesting. There are people who believe that they expect themselves to know it all. It's not even in your field. Someone asks you something in IT, you expect to know it all. And for sure, you cannot know it all. And you have a sense of guilt and shame in case you don't know all that is being, required of you. And again, another type of imposter is a soloist, where you reject help so that you prove your individual worth and not share any credit. You met people who, they have done so much and they end up rejecting help so that they feel worth if they have done everything. People like even simply in a party or a family gathering, they cook, they clean, they do everything. And at the end of the day, it's because they want to prove their individual worth and not share any credit. So that when everyone is eating the chicken and they're like, who made the chicken? They're like, they just feel so nice when everyone is complimenting on the chicken, the rice, the matoke, that place of where you just want to prove your worth by, not sharing any credit. Then you have the natural genius. These are kind of people who believe that if you have to put extra effort, you're not good at it. That implies that they will not try, they will feel like they are not good enough because it's not naturally, they're not applying their natural genius in whatever they're called upon to do. It could be even in, maybe in singing, and you're asked maybe to join the choir. So if you feel that you have to put extra effort, you're not good at it. Those end up even leaving the choir because they feel that they are not naturally, doing it to perfection. Interesting. I know most of you here are already seeing how it has manifested in your life of the imposter syndrome. One way is thinking you don't deserve a promotion or raise despite the qualification and experience. I'll share a personal experience. When I left campus and I got my first job, within a very short time, I was promoted. Actually within 3 months, I was promoted. One, I was young from campus. I found older people. I found more men in the organization. And I felt like I didn't deserve that promotion. And now the weird part of when the manifestation of the imposter syndrome, I was given a raise and I was not informed. So I just realized in my pay slip that they had like doubled my salary and they had not told me. So guess what I did? The imposter syndrome set in. I went to the admin and I told them that they have given me the wrong pay. And that's not my pay. She looked surprised, but because I was in an interesting organization where people are paid based on how the manager feels or the boss feels. So I thought because I had been given my letter and given my salary, that's what I was expecting, but not because I had a different, pay reflecting. I went and disqualified myself. I actually said, this is not my pay. And guess what? I think they were happy and thought this must be a very unique or maybe very foolish or stupid person. They reverted to my old pay. And that's what I knew. I didn't even have a name for it then, but I knew how you can self-sabotage yourself because of an imposter syndrome. It even happens when you're asked to, a promotion and you're asked to take up a position and you end up saying, it's not for me. And you are qualified for it. But the syndrome sets in and you disqualify yourself, even refuse to take up that position with a better pay, with better terms because of the imposter syndrome. Then again, you're second guessing yourself, feeling like a fraud every time you go into that space. You're insecure about your performance. This is very key, initially in based on maybe or even on gender, because like I noticed, we have a lot of women in this call. You find that you are so insecure about your performance, you're second guessing yourself and feeling like a fraud. Everyone is celebrating what you're doing, but you feel like it's only by luck that you're in that position. Then also feeling out of place. You're in these circles, and even though your grades are good or even you're better than the people in that space, you end up feeling that you don't deserve it. Actually, the manifestation of the imposter syndrome is mainly feeling of not deserving it. Then also disregarding compliments after an achievement and seeking to show others your mistakes. This is so interesting, like you find that someone, you have been working out, maybe you're looking better, you've lost some weight, but because of the imposter syndrome, someone compliments you, you start actually telling them, no, you haven't even seen, my tummy is still not, they're already telling you you're looking nice, but you want to discredit what they've told you by showing you mistakes or showing that you're not as good as they think you are. The worst is sabotaging a relationship because you think you don't deserve the person. You heard Lydia saying the way I got a husband from Uganda. The Pearl of Africa has amazing men. In case you are searching, that's a good place to look into. So my story was very interesting. I'd been in a relationship where I would say I was put down. I was rejected and, told some very weird things, like I'm not a wife material. So I'm still 15 years later, I'm still wondering what that material is made of because I was told I'm not a wife material. So I can imagine I meet this amazing man from Uganda and he's showing me all this love, telling me I'm an amazing person. Then my imposter syndrome sets in. I start feeling this man is too good for me. He's just too polite. He's just, a gentleman, because I felt like I didn't deserve a very good person. And it's because of I almost ended up sabotaging this relationship because I was not used to that kind of a treatment. And I'd spoken to myself that maybe I'm not good enough. That's why I lost the other relationship. So I know of people who have sabotaged their relationship, called off engagements, not because the person is bad, but because they feel I don't deserve this person. I'm not good enough. So it can manifest in a way that, you self-sabotage your relationship, you lose out on such amazing people, because even friendships, because you feel you don't deserve the kind of person who's coming to your life. I love the last part. There is hope. You can crush the imposter syndrome. Knowing that you're not alone, as we speak here tonight, we have, you're getting to see this profile and you're like, wow. And you're wondering, can I get to such a place? Just know some of us, I just love the authenticity that Pumla, came out with, that some of the people you actually admire, they have had to cope with it. One of them is someone like the poet Maya Angelou. Successful as she was, she had to cope with this imposter syndrome at every point of her life. And again, examining the root cause and accept it. One of it is, I think Pumla has really shared deeply on that, on the background. Examine it and accept it. You can't be in a place where you're always blaming your past accepting it and knowing that there is hope and you can actually, you can actually cope and live with it. Looking at the big picture is very key, and starting with the small steps of collaboration. Connect with people, delegate, work with other people, especially if you're the kind of person who's a perfectionist, who wants to work alone because you find your self-worth in being celebrated. Collaborate with other people. Then beat procrastination by showing up and saying yes. For me, this has been a constant in my life because I've had to learn to say yes. Even when Coach Bahati told me about this, speaking on this engagement, the old me who could not tell the imposter is setting in, I would have said no at first. But now I have learned to say yes to new opportunities and learn the loops along the way. I may not be perfect. I don't wait for perfection, but I learn the loops along the way. But the first thing I do to myself, I show up and beat procrastination. Again, I would say be a lifelong learner. Get a mentor. Always just admit don't just rely on the natural talent alone. Get a mentor, have someone you're accountable to, you can share, you can be candid with and tell them, I reject, I self-sabotage myself, and this is affecting my career, my profession, my family. Just have someone you can talk to. Give yourself permission. If you don't live with anything in this call, please give yourself permission and keep a track of your success. I love the story of King David when he was facing Goliath. Everyone was despising him, looking down upon him, but I can say King David did not have an imposter syndrome. He showed up, small as he was, and he was talking about how he has dealt with the bears and the lions before he faced this giant. So King David is an example of someone who had managed to even overcome and crush the imposter syndrome. You look at people in the Bible like Gideon. The first thing he said, he was asked to do a big assignment and he looked down upon himself. That's a sign of an imposter syndrome. But King David, he kept a track record of his success and he gave himself a mission to face the giants. Be kind to yourself if you're a perfectionist. At all time, be kind to yourself. What are you saying to yourself? I have what I call the I am statements. And I love, even as I'm winding up on this, please just come up with just indicate your I am statements. I always start saying identity. Who are you saying that you are? Before I call you out, who are you saying that you are? I love saying I'm an equiper. I'm a positive person. I'm an encourager. I'm a go-getter. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. You can have as many as you can the I am statement. So come up with yours, develop it, have a whole page of it. Keep on talking to yourself, because if you're beating yourself down, even if you tell you're the best speaker, you're the best cook, you're the best mom, you're the best wife, or you're the best, accountant or lawyer, and you are saying the negative talk to yourself, you will end up sabotaging what actually you're trying to gain. So please be kind to yourself. Crush the imposter syndrome by doing it afraid, doing it now, doing it with others, and developing your I am statements. I just love this. I think I have developed over and over my I am statements. Then again, as someone who is a great follower, a mentee of John Maxwell, one of the songs he had is that I picked this from his song, and he said, I had to learn how to get out of my way, to find myself, to know myself, to be myself, to improve myself, to get over myself so I can give myself to you. One thing which is very clear is that you cannot give yourself to others. You cannot become the best version of yourself. You cannot be adding value to other people. You cannot be the gift that you are called to be for mankind if you don't get over yourself. The imposter syndrome is crushed by getting over yourself. Be in a place where when you asked to take up a responsibility, instead of always thinking about yourself, how will I look? How will I sound? Am I good enough? Is my presentation, perfect? First of all, get over yourself so that you can give yourself to other people. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Wow. Get over yourself. Now, if you've been there and you're still getting in your way, Today, Lydia has told us to get over ourselves. Now, I'm an action woman. I'm not even going to wait for you. Start sending your questions. But if you don't have a question, let us get into the chat room and start writing those I ams, okay? Start writing those I ams in the comment section already. We're not going to wait for the call to end for you to start typing, I am this, I am this. We're going to start it tonight. So tell yourself, I am the next boss of my office. I am the this and this. Start telling yourself. Can I see some I ams in the comment sections? Oh, yes. Winnie says, I'm a conqueror. Molly says, I'm a pioneer. Chinwe says, I'm a natural. I'm blessed. My God, so many. Gloria Sekenya says, I am a game changer. Oh, yes, I like to do things practically. I don't want you to wait and forget. So tonight we have just started, but Lydia has encouraged that we need to do that every day. Someone is saying, I'm a trendsetter. I am loved. Wow, Lydia, thank you so much for reminding us about that. And then she also said something that get a mentor. You know, when I personally look at my life, the kind of things that I've been able to overcome, I notice there has been someone cheering me on. There's been someone believing in me. There's been someone saying, Lydia, you can do it. It's very hard. Many times it's very hard to overcome imposter syndrome without someone telling you, you know what, you're doing this right, you can do this better. So I want to encourage you as part of your action points as you leave this place. Number one, I am statements. Number two, get a mentor. Number three, get over yourself, get out of your way and allow yourself to shine. Thank you so much, Lydia. Pumla. I am an advisor to the governor of the Central Bank of Uganda. Pumla, you're not a simple woman. Oh, yes. When we see it, I will tell you, I'll remind you, woman, you say this on the 26th of June, 2024. That is what we mean by our I am statements. And Pumla, I also want to continue thanking you for being such an amazing speaker. You have stayed in the comment section to actually give personal answers to the people who have asked the questions. So thank you so much for not just giving value, but staying to continue giving us, giving answers to the people who had asked questions. Walala, I'm the next president of Uganda. Museveni should have had this because we also don't like these taxes. All right, thank you so much. If there are any questions, Lydia, like Pumla, will continue to answer these questions in the comment section. So